Good morning, Langsburg community and First Congregational Church. This is Dr. Tom coming at you, wishing you a happy Sunday. Welcome to our online service. Today marks a brand new year on the church calendar. Yes, we have started Advent today. Our series, Living in Between, launches today. I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I'm just kind of out on a walk today, kind of getting my blood moving, keep my brain moving, and yeah, so we're gonna start Advent today. Now, Advent is when we light a series of 5 candles, and instead of our 2 candles that acknowledge the incarnation of Christ, we're gonna light 4 candles over the next 4 weeks, and the 5th one on Christmas Eve. It'll be a progression of candles that we light. And today is the prophet's candle of hope, where we kind of remember, the waiting period for the coming of God into the lives of, I gotta cross the street, into the lives of the people of God in the form of Christ the Messiah. So we're kind of on this preparation journey for Christmas. So it's not really like Christmas time just yet. We're in Advent time. We can't skip Advent to get to Christmas, and we're going to learn about that today. So without further ado, we are going to light some candles. We're going to hear some readings, have a call to worship, and I'll see you on the other side.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to the call to worship. Today it's from Isaiah 61, verses 1 through 9. Oh, that you would rip open the heavens and descend, make the mountains shudder at your presence. Since before time began, no one has ever imagined, no ear heard, no eye seen a God like you who works for those who wait for him. You meet those who happily do what is right, who keep a good memory of the way you work. But how angry you've been with us. We've sinned and kept at it so long. Is there any hope for us? Can we be saved? We're all sin-infected, sin-contaminated. Our best efforts are grease-stained rags. We're drying up like autumn leaves, sun-dried. We're blown off into the wind. Still, God, you are our Father. We're the clay and you're the potter. All of us are what you've made us. Don't be too angry with us, oh God. Don't keep a permanent account of wrongdoing. Keep in mind, please, we are your people. All of us. Have a great morning, and I can't wait to see you guys again.
On the first week of Advent, we light the prophet's candle of hope, and remember how they spoke of the hope of Christ's coming. For it was from the manger at Bethlehem that you came and gave hope to the world. As we light this candle, we are reminded to be alert and to watch for the light of Christ, even in the most unlikely places and people.
O come, Emmanuel, and ransom captive Israel, that mourns in lonely exile here, until the Son of God appear. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel. to thee, O Israel. O come, desire of nations, bind all peoples in one heart and mind. Bid envy, strife, and quarrel cease. Fill the whole world with heaven's peace. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel. Shall come to thee, O Israel.
Mark 13:24-37. But in those days following that distress, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light. The stars will fall from the sky, and the heavenly bodies will be shaken. At that time, people will see the Son of Man coming in clouds with great power and glory. He will send his angels and gather his elect from the four winds, from the ends of the earth to the ends of the heaven. Now learn this lesson from the fig tree. As soon as its twigs get tender and its leaves come out, you know that summer is near. Even so, when you see these things happening, you know that it is near, right at the door. I tell you the truth, this generation will certainly not pass away until these things have happened. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will never pass away. No one knows about the day or hour, not even the angels in heaven nor the Son, but only the Father. Be on guard, be alert. You do not know the hour when the time will come. It's like a man going away. He leaves his house and puts his servants in charge, each with their assigned task, and tells the one at the door to keep watch. Therefore, keep watch, because you do not know when the owner of the house will come back, whether in the evening or at midnight, or when the rooster crows, or at dawn. If he comes suddenly, do not let him find you sleeping. What I say to you, I say to everyone, watch.
All right, so what an odd passage to start Christmas season, Advent season off. Then Mark 13, like what in the world? Why are we even reading the sun going dark and the apocalyptic end times and all this other stuff? Right in the, like to introduce ourselves to Christmas and the Christmas season and hope and all this. Why this? This seems like some kind of end times doomsday junkie is going to grab hold of this and say, oh, look, see, here the end of the world is here. Why do we start Advent with an apocalyptic reading of Scripture? That's kind of the question I had in my mind today as I was studying for this message. The apocalypse, like the apocalyptic language, apocalyptic scriptures, is all about the end of the world. It is about the end of the world, but not as you might think, like the end of the world, like Armageddon, the world blows up and then everything comes to an end. The end of the world is always an end of an age, an end of an era, an end of a time. Because the world is built on certain systems and structures of power, and when those systems and structures of power crumble or come to a close, it often feels apocalyptic, like, oh my gosh, the world is ending. What is life on the other side of this even going to look like? So Advent starts here because this is where the people of God find themselves. They find themselves desiring the end of the world. Does that sound weird to you? Like When I was growing up and I was kind of in that evangelical culture, like the end times scared the snot out of me. Like, oh my gosh, the world's gonna blow up. Y2K is gonna happen and everyone's gonna starve and the world's gonna, explode into a ball of fire, but then Jesus will come back and make everything okay. I always was like scared to death of end time stuff. But the Hebrew people at this time are longing for the end of the world. They're longing for the end of the world. Why would anyone long for the end of the world? Well, you see, if you're under the thumb of injustice from the current power systems and structures at play, you want the end of the world, right? Because the world that currently exists is oppressing you and keeping you down, keeping you oppressed in systems of injustice. So if the apocalypse sounds like bad news, then it might be because we are reliant upon the systems and structures that are currently in place. If we are under the oppression or injustice of the systems and structures that are in place, then an apocalypse sounds like good news because, oh my gosh, the end of the world sounds so lovely right now. So here we light this prophet's candle of hope today. As we're looking forward to a new world, not just the destruction of the world. We don't want to just have the destruction of the world for the destruction of the world's sake. That's no fun. But there is a world that God is making, and we partner with that world. And it's a world where every human being gets to have dignity and have flourishing and opportunity on equal ground. So when the world ends, there's a whole group of people that now have opportunity, that now who were oppressed by a certain system are now having found new hope and opportunity. Now the Hebrew people are here in this passage because the Hebrew people, they are under the thumb of Babylon. They came in and blew up their entire system of worship and culture and occupied them. So they're no longer an independent nation anymore, sovereign. It's my FedEx man. Ooh, that was windy. They're under this Babylonian thumb, longing for God to step in and bring an end to the Babylonian Empire's rule and reign over top of them, right? They're there when, and it happens when Assyria comes in and blows up Babylon. But then they're under Assyria's thumb. And then the Greeks come in and blow up Assyria. And then they're under the Greeks' thumb. And then the Romans come in and they blow up, and they're the Romans' thumb by the time that Jesus gets here. This passage of Jesus, now the Romans have kind of the power. And the Hebrew people are wondering, when will God lead an exodus like he did in Egypt, back in Moses' day? When's that going to happen? When's that going to come? So we light the prophet's candle of hope at Advent to remind us that people are sitting in darkness under the thumb of injustice systems. And we light this candle of hope looking forward to the day when the world ends. Looking forward to the day when injustice comes to a close, when oppression ceases, when humans have equal opportunity to dignity, and when love is ruling and reigning over the whole universe. This is the world that God is making. And we are lighting a candle of hope in the midst of a dark time that says we long for this world to come too. We long for this kind of world to come and rule and reign and change everything. And that means the end of a world. That means the end of an age. So Advent is this time of preparation for the end of the world, but not like in the doomsday way, the preparation for the beginning of a new world too. As Fleming Rutledge, the great theologian, she said, apocalyptic theology is above all the theology of hope, and hope is the polar opposite of optimism. Optimism fails when it is swallowed up in darkness. See, hope doesn't do that. Hope is in the midst of a dark time. and still endures. This hope endured through 4 different captivities of people before God steps in and does something. Hope is not dependent on human timelines and human history, but on a world that transcends all of that with love. And God does enter into the scene finally in another person like Moses, but this time in the person of Jesus, the Messiah figure that has come. So here we're looking forward to this day when God steps in again, when God steps into our darkness, when God steps into our world, our lives, brings an end to the oppressive injustices that keep us under a thumb, keep anyone under a thumb. And we look forward to these days, this day when hope reigns and hope rules. So we light the candle of hope, not to ignore all of the things that we don't wish to look at, or to kind of divert our attention from the actuality of life. Hope never goes there. Hope starts in the dark. You ever notice that Advent starts around the winter solstice? Never on the solstice, but like right around the winter solstice time. And here in the north, winter solstice happens, and we're going to get like nine hours and some odd minutes of daylight on the darkest day of the year. So this is like the darkest season of the year. The farther north you go, then the more dark it gets, the more dark it stays. And here, hope starts in this dark season. This is Christmas time. We start putting up lights, and we sing, and we, have parties and get-togethers, and we eat food, and we watch Hallmark movies, and we go shopping, and we buy presents. And during the darkest season, the cold season, the dark winter seasons, that's when we are exercising hope the most. You see, hope never ignores the current darkness that we're in. Hope starts here. So these Hebrew people that are under the oppressive thumb of all these different ruling governments like Rome and Greek, they're looking at these big statues as they walk their daily life existence. These big statues of the gods of these nations that utterly came in and decimated their lives and their world. And they're saying, where's our God? How come our God isn't stepping in and showing God to be powerful, more powerful than the Babylonians or and they're asking these questions as they walk by these huge monolithic statues of, the gods of the empires that have conquered them. They're saying, well, where's ours? Where's our God? When is our God going to do something? When is our God going to step in?
Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul, worship His holy name, sing like never before, oh my soul, I worship Your holy name. The sun comes up, it's a new day dawning. It's time to sing your song again. Whatever may pass and whatever lies before me, let me be singing when the evening comes. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul, worship His holy name, sing like never before, oh my soul, I worship Your holy name. You're rich in love and You're slow to anger. Your name is great and Your heart is kind. For all Your goodness I will keep on singing. 10,000 reasons for my heart to find.
So Isaiah kind of starts here in this dark place where Babylon has kind of come to rule and reign over them, and he starts speaking words of hope in the midst of an apocalypse. He's saying, all right, people, God is coming. Comfort my people. God is coming. God is coming. And there's like, from Isaiah 40 to Isaiah 66, there's like this huge book of the Bible. They call it Second Isaiah, but it's this huge book of the Bible where it's all apocalyptic, and it's all about hope, and it's all about God coming in and rescuing, and God coming in and intervening, and God coming in and making things right, and having comfort in the fact that it's not here yet, but we know it's coming. And so that's what hope is. Hope is like this living in between, where you're acknowledging what is, the actuality of what is, but you also have kind of your eye on the coming of God. God is coming. God is coming into this world. And it's like this confusing place to be, where you know deep in your bones that there is something more, and yet what you experience in your walking, waking existence is different than what you feel in your bones. Maria Bolding is a wonderful theologian, and she captures this really well. She says, Advent is the most subtle and challenging season, a time of holy waiting, of mystical murmurs, religious rustling, strange spiritual signs, and confusingly mixed messages. That's what living in between is all about. This, we're not at the place where hope is ruling and reigning and has come to a fulfillment, but we're also not in a place where we don't know our hope. We're in a place of like, we know it deep in our bones, but we're not experiencing it in our waked existence fully yet. And this is where Advent finds us. Advent finds us in the midst. Advent finds us in between. Advent finds us in the now and the not yet, that in-between place where we have faith in what isn't yet, and we have hope for things that are coming, but we traverse this world in the way that Christ has shown us to traverse. Winter is when the trees drop all their leaves and you can see the nesting creatures, and that's when the birds like blue jays and crows will go and they'll invade those hornets' nests, and they'll take care of them for us. So here the seasons of winter strip bare, revealing all that nesting junk inside of the trees, right, that we didn't see when it was in its full luster. And we have that same problem where we'll have these seasons of our life where we're stripped bare, or we got nothing left. We don't have what we thought our life was going to be like. And when we get to these winter seasons of our soul, winter seasons of our life, it kind of reveals where our hope was. Was our hope in a job? Was our hope in money? Was our hope in relationships? Was our hope in... You get to these places, and when you feel the despair of a situation, the despair is actually pointing to an insufficient hope that you had that was based on the temporal stuff of here and now. And when we get to a winter season of the soul, then that is revealed. Like, oh my gosh, I didn't really see that all of my hope was in, getting comfortable or getting powerful or getting prestige and fame and fortune and all this other stuff. Winter takes this optimism, takes this insufficient hope and expands it beyond the timeline of our existence, and says there's this unseen world, an unseen existence that has like a deciding power on where human history is going to go. Sometimes it don't feel like it, sometimes it don't look like that, right? Sometimes it just looks like bare trees with nests in them. But when we finally stop ignoring the winter darknesses that we're in, and if we just try to pretend we're optimistic about stuff, then we're not going to see the actual nature of our life, that darkness that actually exists in our life, right? When we don't take the time to celebrate Advent, to celebrate the trees losing their leaves, and recognize that there are some nesting things in there that need to be taken care of. So we're not supposed to skip Advent, right? Our culture wants us to skip Advent and just celebrate Christmas 25 days a year. Thomas Merton captures the heart of our society pretty well when he says, "We live in a society whose whole policy is to excite every nerve in the human body and keep it at the highest pitch of artificial tension, to strain every human desire to the limit and to create as many new desires and synthetic passions as possible in order to cater to them with the products of our factories and printing presses and movie studios and all the rest." Right? That captures the temptation of Christmas. The temptation of Christmas is to skip Advent and just do all the parties and do all the hype and do all the happy and buy all the presents and do all the things. And then when Christmas is here, it's kind of like, oh, exhausted, we're done. Finally, take the tree down, burn it in the yard, right? Like you're just done with Christmas. You can't take the music anymore, take the lights down, right? So our society wants us to skip Advent and just jump into Christmas time, and then it exhausts us because we've been celebrating Christmas for too long. But Advent is a preparation for Christmas. Advent prepares us by taking whatever darkness actually lies before you, and then you acknowledge it, whether it's a great darkness and you're in a great winter of the soul, great winter season, great time of in between, or just a small one. We gotta start in the actuality of our life, what is actually here, what we're actually in. If we want to get any kind of hope, if we want to arrive at any place of hope, then we have to start where we are. Start with what is, and start in Advent. We have to start in Advent and traverse the darkness that we have in order to get to a place of hope. Because you can't get to a place of hope without traversing through the darkness to get to the hope. If you just stay optimistic about stuff and you don't acknowledge the junk and the fear and the scariness and the injustice and whatever else of today, then you're never going to get to hope. Because optimism never goes through the darkness, never acknowledges the fear. Optimism seeks to escape the human experience, but hope inhabits it. Hope lives it. Hope directs it, all with love. Our God traversed the human experience in love, charting a course through the dark, leaving behind signs pointing the way through for us to follow. That's what Christmas is. God doesn't come and skip the human experience and just, get born in the riches and comfort and glory of. He gets born to a poor couple in the midst of nowhere. He's put in a feeding trough because he was born in a barn. It's like God didn't skip over the darkness. God inhabited our human experience fully and then pioneers a way all the way through it for us to follow. And we, as followers of Christ, Christ looks back and says, "Follow me." We have to follow Christ through the darkness of what our actual life is. And whether that's a great darkness and you're in the midst of one of the scariest times of your life, whether it's a smaller darkness and things are doing all right for you, we got to start wherever it is. We got to acknowledge what is before us, and you got to traverse through it in love. That's where hope will be found. Hope is found on the other side of darkness and despair and fear and all that scariness. Hope is going to be on the other side of it. And we've got to traverse through it all if we're going to get to the other side and arrive at hope. So today when we light the candle of hope, we light the candle of hope to acknowledge we're lighting a candle in the midst of darkness. We're lighting a candle in the midst of darkness. We're going to sing, we're going to party, we're going to do all the things, but in the midst of darkness. And that's what Advent is this preparation and it's training grounds for living in the here and now and where we are today. So I hope that you're able to take this Advent season and journey with us. We're going to look at the topics of hope, joy, peace, love, and redemption. Those are the 5 seasons, 5 topics of Advent. And hopefully you'll learn how to live in between, where you don't have all those things fully just yet, but you're not wallowing in the despair of your current life without a greater hope driving you forward. So this week, as we celebrate hope, as we celebrate Advent, don't jump into the Christmas season just yet. Hang your lights, sing your songs, do the parties, do the preparations, but also recognize Advent is a time of hope, waiting, dark, anticipation. Advent is a time where we pause, where we look to the trees and see that they are bare and recognize the bareness of our lives, where we see the nesting creatures that were in their branches, and then we take on the nesting character flaws that we have, the little hornets hiding in our nests and our trees, and we take on and say, you know what? Hope is coming, God is coming.
Light of the world, you step down into darkness. Open my eyes, let me see beauty that made this heart adore you. Hope of a life spent with you. So here I am to worship. Here I am to bow down. Here I am to say that you're my God. You're altogether lovely, altogether worthy, altogether wonderful to me. I'll never know how much it cost to see my sin upon that cross. I'll never know how much it cost to see my sin upon that cross. So here I am to worship, here I am to bow down, here I am to say that you're my God. You're altogether lovely, altogether worthy, altogether wonderful to me.
O come, and be our God with us. O long-sought witness for a world without. O secret seed, O hidden spring of light, come to us, wisdom, come unspoken name, come root and key and king and holy flame. O quicken, little wick so tightly curled, be folded with us into time and place, unfold for us the mystery of grace, and make a womb of all this wounded world. O heart of heaven, beating in the earth, O tiny hope within our hopelessness, come to be born, to bear us to our birth, to touch a dying world with new-made hands, and make these rags of time our swaddling bands. By Malcolm Guite.
Well, thank you for joining us for our first week of our Living in Between and Advent series. We are online still, only as a community, and we hope that you'll join us for the next few. If you want to share this episode, just hit the share page. We're up on YouTube now. I'll share the link on there. You can subscribe on YouTube if you like that way better. And we hope that you find some hope in this Christmas season, in this Advent season. And if you want to partner with us financially to keep our church as a beacon of hope, help, and healing for our community and beyond. There's a link that you can give here. We would love to receive your generosity to keep us going, and we're going to continue doing these. And we will see you next week for week number 2 of our Advent series, Living in Between. So we'll talk to you later. Peace.